You downloaded the app, you transferred money in, you called yourself an investor, but nothing is actually growing. Not really. Not the way it should. You look at your portfolio and you feel like you are missing something, some step, some setting, some secret that everyone else seems to know. Here is what nobody told you. The platform you are using might be quietly working against you, not because it is broken, because it was not built for how you actually live. I used both of the most popular investment platforms in Canada. I put real money into both. I watched how they behaved, and I made a decision. Today I am going to tell you exactly what I found, and more importantly, what it means for your money right now. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. How much money have you left sitting uninvested this month? Not because you spent it, but because you were not sure which button to press, or you got confused by the interface, or you bought shares but forgot to reinvest the dividend that came in 3 weeks later. That friction has a price. Every day your money sits uninvested in a zero-interest holding account, it is not compounding. It is not working. It is simply sitting there while inflation quietly taxes it. If you have been in Canada for 2 years, you are still building your financial foundation, and every single dollar needs to be working efficiently from the start. If you have been here for 20 years and you still feel uncertain about your investment platform, that uncertainty has compounded too, just in the wrong direction. The Financial Consumer Agency of Canada found in a National Financial Capability Survey that only about 1/3 of Canadians have any kind of written financial plan. 1/3. That is not laziness. That is a system that never taught people how to participate. You did not fail to learn. Nobody taught you. That is why platform friction matters more than most people think. The right platform removes excuses. The wrong one quietly becomes a reason to delay. Let us talk about what the data actually shows about Canadian investors and behavior, because this is not just about 2 apps. This is about how ordinary people make financial decisions and how the environment around that decision shapes the outcome. The first thing to understand is that most Canadians are not in the market the way they should be. A Bank of Canada financial system review from around 2023 noted that household participation in equity markets in Canada remains significantly lower than in comparable countries like the United States. Why does that matter here? Because the gap between people who invest and people who mean to invest is almost entirely a friction problem. The investor who means to invest is waiting for the right moment, the right confidence, the right interface. The person who actually invests found the path of least resistance and took it. The second finding comes from a long-running study by Dalbar, which has tracked investor behavior versus market performance for decades. What they consistently find is that the average investor underperforms the index they are invested in, not because the market fails them, because behavior fails them. Manual dividend reinvestment, delayed purchases, hesitation during volatility. These are not personality flaws. They are the predictable result of platforms that require more steps, more decisions, and more manual intervention. Every extra click between you and execution is a behavioral tax. The third piece of evidence is perhaps the most relevant for this audience specifically. Research connected to the Canadian Securities Administrators found that investor confusion around platform fees, account types, and investment vehicles is one of the primary barriers to long-term wealth accumulation, particularly among newcomers to Canada. That word, confusion, is doing a lot of work. It is not that people are not intelligent. It is that the financial system in Canada was not designed with a newcomer's learning curve in mind. And even for people who have been here 20 years, most were taught to save, not to invest. The platform you choose is either going to lower that barrier or raise it higher. I want to tell you exactly why I made the choice I made, not theory. What actually happened when I used both platforms with my own money? I am a busy person. That is not a complaint. It is just a fact of my life. I have a full schedule. I teach. I consult. I manage household finances with my spouse. I do not have hours each week to sit in front of charts and manually execute transactions. What I need from an investment platform is simple. I need my money to grow. I need the platform to get out of my way. And I need to trust that when I make a move, it happens cleanly and immediately. With Wealthsimple, I found something that surprised me. When I buy an ETF, the transaction reflects in real time. There is no waiting 2 to 3 days for it to clear. If I cancel a purchase, it shows up immediately. No lag. No confusion about whether the order went through. That sounds like a small thing until you have experienced the alternative and you realize the uncertainty was quietly stressing you out every single time. The fractional ETF feature changed how I think about dividend reinvestment. When a dividend comes in, it does not just sit as loose cash waiting for me to remember to reinvest it. I can set it up so it goes right back in, automatically, even in fractional amounts. That is compounding working the way it is supposed to work. No manual steps, no delay, no behavioral tax. Questrade is a serious platform. I want to be fair. It is built for people who want more control, more direct execution, more of a trading environment. But I am not a trader in that context. Questrade does not offer fractional shares for ETFs in the same way. That meant that when dividends arrived, I was doing manual reinvestment, which means I was remembering to do it, which means sometimes I forgot, which means the money sat. That gap, multiplied across months and years, is not nothing. When it came to the Wealthsimple promotional offers, I will be honest, I was drawn in by them initially. The idea of earning something like a MacBook Air or AirPods for moving assets was attractive. But what kept me was not the gift. What kept me was that the offers were legitimate. Clear terms. No gimmicks. Straightforward conditions. That matters when you are trusting a platform with your financial life. And as my assets reached higher tiers, the rewards scaled accordingly. Lounge access. Travel benefits. A credit card that sits at the Visa Infinite Privilege level with the kind of perks that used to be reserved for people at a very different income level. The joint account feature is something I did not expect to value as much as I do. Being able to move money between accounts with my spouse in real time, without lag, without clearance delays, made financial coordination feel like something we were doing together rather than something we each managed in separate silos. Wealthsimple is also evolving. They have introduced Norbert's Gambit, which is a strategy I will cover in a separate video. It allows you to convert Canadian dollars to US dollars at near interbank rates, which can save a meaningful amount of money on currency conversion fees over time. The fact that they built this in tells me something about the direction they are heading. Now let us turn this into something actionable, because knowing my experience is useful only if it helps you make a better decision for yourself. Here are 4 concrete steps you can take this week. Step 1 is called Audit Your Friction. Before you move any money or switch any platform, sit down for 20 minutes and write out what actually happens when you try to invest. Not what is supposed to happen, what actually happens in your specific life. Do you log in and feel confused? Do you make a purchase and then spend 2 days wondering if it cleared? Do you receive dividends and then forget to reinvest them for 3 weeks? Do you find yourself avoiding the app because the interface makes you feel incompetent? Every one of those friction points has a cost. Not a theoretical cost, a measurable, compounding cost. If your dividend reinvestment is delayed by 3 weeks every quarter, that is 12 weeks per year that a portion of your portfolio is sitting idle. Over 10 years, that idle time adds up to a real dollar figure. Write down every friction point you experience with your current platform. Be specific, not, it is confusing. Write, I do not know what to do after I receive a dividend. That specificity is what helps you know whether a platform switch will actually solve your problem or whether the problem is knowledge, not the tool.
Step 2 is called Match Your Platform to Your Investor Identity. This is the step most people skip because they do not know they have an investor identity, but you do. And it is one of 2 things. You are either a buy and hold long-term investor or you are an active trader. Most people watching this channel are the first type. You are building wealth through consistent contributions, broad market ETFs, and time. You are not trying to beat the market. You are trying to participate in it efficiently. If that is you, then the features that matter most are automatic dividend reinvestment, fractional share access, clean real-time execution, and an interface that makes it easy to stay the course during market volatility. Platforms built primarily for traders have features that are genuinely useful for traders and are mostly noise or friction for a long-term investor. Knowing which type you are before you choose your platform is not a small thing. It is the foundation of the decision. If you are a newer Canadian investor, there is a strong probability that nobody has ever asked you this question. The assumption has always been that more features equals a better platform. That is not true. More features equals more decisions. More decisions equals more opportunities to hesitate, delay, or make a mistake based on incomplete information. Step 3 is called Verify the Real Cost, not the marketing costs. This step is specifically about fees, and I want you to pay close attention here because the Canadian investment platform fee structure is not always what it appears to be. Questrade is well known for its commission-free ETF buying model, which is genuinely useful. WealthSimple removed trading commissions entirely, which changed the competitive landscape. But fees are not only commissions. When you convert Canadian dollars to US dollars to buy US listed ETFs, there is a currency conversion spread. When you hold cash in a basic account that does not offer interest, that idle cash has an opportunity cost. When you trade frequently because the platform makes it feel easy to trade, the cost is behavioral, not transactional. Sit down with your last 3 months of account history and calculate what you have actually paid in all forms: commissions, spreads, any account fees, any subscription fees, and the invisible fee, which is the dividend that sat uninvested for 3 weeks last quarter. Add all of those up before you decide your current platform is cheap. A platform can be free on commissions and expensive in every other way that matters. For someone in Canada specifically, if you are not yet using registered accounts, whether that is a tax-free savings account, a registered retirement savings plan, or a first home savings account, the platform you choose needs to support all three cleanly. Do not choose a platform that makes registered accounts feel like an afterthought. Step 4 is called Test Before You Commit. This is practical advice that most financial content skips. Do not transfer all of your money to a new platform based on one video, including this one. Open an account on the platform you are considering. Transfer a small amount, something you are comfortable with, maybe $200 or $500. Use it the way you would use it with your real portfolio. Buy an ETF, receive a dividend, try to reinvest it, try to cancel an order. Transfer a small amount to a joint account if you have one. Do this for 60 days and pay attention to how the experience actually feels. Does it reduce your anxiety or increase it? Do you find yourself logging in more often and feeling confident, or more often and feeling overwhelmed? The goal of this test is not to find a perfect platform. There is no perfect platform. The goal is to find the platform where your worst behavioral tendencies are most likely to be mitigated by the design. Some people need simplicity so badly that even a marginally better interface is worth switching for. Some people want the reassurance of more control and will perform better on a more complex platform because they feel informed rather than passive. You will not know which type you are until you test under real conditions with real money, even a small amount. If you are considering Wealthsimple and you are currently sitting at a lower asset tier, know that the platform is built to scale with you. The rewards and features available at higher tiers are not a trick to get you to move money. They are a genuine representation of how the platform is designed to treat customers who grow with it. That Visa Infinite Privilege card does not appear because you asked for it. It appears because you built something. That's a different psychological relationship with money than most platforms offer. The platform you invest through is not a minor logistical detail. It is the environment that shapes every financial decision you make, day after day, year after year. Choose the one that removes friction between you and consistent action, not the one with the most features or the most aggressive marketing. If this video helped you think more clearly about where your money actually lives and how to make it work harder inside Canada, subscribe to this channel, because that is exactly the kind of thinking we build here every week. Next up, we are going to talk about Norbert's Gambit, the currency conversion strategy that can quietly save Canadian investors hundreds of dollars every year, and almost nobody who should be using it actually knows it exists.